Hello, and welcome to the Interviewing Skills presentation. My name is Erin Dunvogler, and I am a Career Advisor within the Center for Career Exploration and Success. The Career Center staff eagerly await you. Here you can meet with your career advisor, participate in mock interviews and informative events, and even connect with employers who are excited to recruit you. Many more resources are available on our website at miamioh.edu/careers. In this video and beyond, I invite you to explore, prepare, and connect the ways you can drive your career goals and how we can support them. This workshop will cover career clusters, important information about the basic interviewing skills requirement in our office, and preparation for different types of interviews, including behavioral interview questions. One major thing we want you to take away from this workshop is to understand that major doesn't have to equal career. While your major is important, it isn't always the focus of what employers want to know about you. Your interviewers want to learn about your work-related experience, such as your accomplishments in your volunteer work, class projects, or clubs and organizations. They also want to hear about the work experience you gained in any internship or part-time job you may have had in college. There are different pathways to the same job and different jobs you can pursue from one major. Miami uses career clusters to support this idea. We don't want you to limit yourself to just viewing opportunities by major. These clusters will help you explore more options of interest by attending programs and events that target these clusters. You can select as many clusters as you want, but hopefully through your own research, coaching sessions with your advisor, and attending events, you will be able to narrow down your interests to identify a career cluster to use in your planning goals. To select a cluster or two or three, go to a Handshake profile and fill out the section in career interests. And while you're in Handshake, go ahead and schedule an appointment with your career advisor to talk further about career clusters or any other career-related questions you may have. Now, let's take a few minutes to watch our video about career clusters.
Imagine that there are numerous career options that you didn't even know existed. Wouldn't you want to know about them? That's the idea behind career clusters. Career clusters help you explore interests, pinpoint skills that transfer across careers, and expand your career opportunities. Think of it in terms of ordering a pizza. Without the menu, you don't know the options. You may know the basics like crust, toppings, cheese, but without having the menu, you're missing out on specialty or combination items. Major doesn't always equal career, so don't get boxed into your major. There are 9 career clusters you can explore at Miami. So why choose a cluster? We assign employers to career clusters in our online job search portal, Handshake, making it easier to search for opportunities. Personalized out-of-state employer visits, connecting students directly with opportunities. Exclusive job shadow days designated by career clusters. Customized career programming by clusters. And you can change your career cluster anytime. Learn more at miamioh.edu/career-clusters.
There are a few important facts about this workshop. 1. You will be granted interviewing access and Handshake 24 to 48 hours after this presentation during a Monday through Friday work week. Attending this workshop is required to participate in any mock interviews, virtual interviews, or on-campus interviews with employers. And finally, there is an exception for this workshop requirement when it comes to next day interviews connected with career fairs and expos. The Career Center offers reasonable accommodations upon request. If you would like to request an accommodation, please contact Shana Smith at smiths63@miamioh.edu. Okay, let's dive deeper into learning more about interviewing. 2 solid strategies to use to prepare for an interview is to know what the employer is looking for and know yourself. On this slide are the top 8 skills employers are looking for. They are problem-solving skills, ability to work in a team, strong work ethic, analytical or quantitative skills, written communication, leadership skills, verbal communication, and initiative. What are your competency levels and experience in regard to these skills? You should be prepared to answer questions about all of these traits. You need to be able to say more than, "I have good communication skills." Explain what good communication skills means to you, and give specific examples of how you can prove you have those skills. It is a very common mistake to speak in generalities when interviewing, rather than showing this is something true about you. For example, I work to be detail-oriented by taking notes in meetings and asking for clarification. I also read my email communications multiple times before sending them out, and often will walk away from important ones to look at them again with fresh eyes. You should always be familiar with the company you are interviewing with. While you don't need to worry about small details and facts, you do need to make sure you know the company's mission, vision, values, and overall culture. What can you find out about their products or services and clients? What has happened recently to the company on a broader scale? Has there been downsizing or merging? You should also know about the area of the country the company is in and how that influences your salary expectations. As you can see, there are many different types of interviews. But right now, if you are in the middle of or getting ready to start interviewing for jobs, you will likely have a virtual interview instead of any face-to-face interview. But even during other times, many companies will use virtual interviewing at some point in the process. Often, it will be as a first-round interview to do a basic screening of applicants before putting more resources into final candidates. You may experience two types of video interviews. One is where you will be asked to record yourself answering preset questions, and the other is a live setting where you will video chat with an employer and answer questions more similar to a standard interview. Some companies may even use AI to analyze things like your body language and facial expressions. When you have a virtual interview, make sure to do the following things. Find a quiet place, preferably where you can shut the door and other people, or pets or other distractions, can't reach you. Dress professionally and make sure you consider what is behind your head on the screen. Make eye contact with the camera or the other person rather than watching yourself. On many platforms, you have the option of hiding the box where you can see yourself, so I recommend taking a peek at the beginning to ensure everything looks good and then hiding your view of yourself. Make sure you've checked all the technical issues like the software, internet connection, speakers, and microphone. I think people tend to talk faster when they are on some sort of recording like this, so check yourself as you are talking and slow down. Take time to notice little habits like swiveling in your chair and what your hands are doing, and your tone of voice. And last, but certainly not least, in the beginning of your interview, ask what you should do if you are disconnected. We have a great way for you to practice virtual interviews called Big Interview. On this platform, you practice answering interview questions, and it records you so you can play it back and critique yourself. It can also be sent to our office for review. I highly recommend you check this out and practice. It's a great resource that is free to you as a Miami student. We also have a mock interview program. You can sign up with our office to do a mock interview, and someone on our staff will meet with you to let you practice and then give you feedback on the spot. Look on our website under Prepare and then Programs and Events for more information on our mock interview program. Before we continue, let's discuss the importance of your online and social media presence. Make sure to review your various accounts and ask yourself what an employer might think. Remember, most employers will review your online presence. If you have an interview, I can almost guarantee there is going to be a behavioral interview component, because research shows our past behavior is the best indicator of our future performance. The goal of these questions is to understand what you have done in the past. You can help the employer understand this by communicating your experiences in detail. A common mistake is to answer these types of questions with general statements rather than talking about one specific incident that will help prove what you are saying. There is a trick to answering these questions called the CAR method. This stands for context, action, and results. When you get a question along the lines of, "Tell me about a time when," you want to answer the question in 3 parts. First, set the stage. Tell your interviewer the basic information, like who, what, where, when, and why. Then, briefly tell your story. What did you specifically do in this situation, and how did you do it? I often see students leave out the piece about how they did it. And then finally, what happened as a result of your action? This part gets left off sometimes, giving you an incomplete answer. You want to close your answer with a satisfying ending to your story. And here's a tip from me. If your story doesn't have a satisfying ending, you should probably pick a different example. Another question you will almost always get is tell me about yourself. And you guessed it, there's a right way to answer this question too. You want to keep everything on the topic of your career. You should also write out talking points for this answer and practice saying it. Otherwise, this question can quickly derail. Your talking point should include your Miami hello, which includes highlights of your past experience. For example, internships, student leadership opportunities, or study abroad. Then talk about what you are currently doing and where you want your career to go. For example, what sort of industry do you want to work in, or do you want to attend graduate school? You are also likely to face a variety of open-ended questions about your abilities and areas of improvement. You can prepare for these questions by writing down different things you know you are good at and things you know you need to improve on. You should also consider constructive feedback and compliments you've received from others. Again, when answering these questions, you want to be as specific as you can and provide an example. Finally, once you've done all your preparation, you just need to stay calm and breathe. Make sure you know the time of your interview, which can get tricky with time zones, especially with so much virtual interviewing happening right now. Make sure you listen to each question carefully. Don't assume you know what they're going to ask you, but listen to the whole question and try to figure out what they want to hear from you. Watch the nonverbals of not only yourself, but of those who are conducting your interview. What might they be trying to express to you? As someone who struggles with this next tip myself, I want you to understand that silence is not always bad. Usually, the interviewers are just writing notes or gathering their thoughts before the next question. You do not need to fill the space. And finally, be honest and authentic and remain positive about your past experiences. Our tough situations usually have positive twists, even if it's just something we learn for the future. Like I mentioned before, if you really can't be positive about a particular experience, use a different one. And finally, you should always follow up on your interviews. Here's a template you can use if you need it. Essentially, this email should do 3 things. 1. Reflect on your conversations by highlighting something you learned that you were excited about. 2. Confirm your interest in the position. And 3. Remind them of skills and experiences that make you a good fit for this job. This is also a great place to quickly mention something you forgot to say or didn't get to explain fully. The best way to do well in an interview is to practice. The amount of time you spend practicing for an interview should exceed the amount of time you spend in an interview. This slide provides a list of resources available to you to help you prepare, such as appointments with career advisors, mock interviews, and a virtual resume prep tool. The important piece of information here is to practice saying your answers out loud. Merely writing them down or saying them in your head is not the same as practicing by answering a question at random. For more information about our office, check us out on social media at Hire Miami OH and contact the office at 513-529-3831 or Career Center at miamioh.edu with any questions. Thank you.